Oh, what is Black and disabled and in love? And I came up with this topic about being Black and disabled and in love because we need to have more representation of us having these conversations to actually create these conversations about what is Black and disabled in love. And my personal experience being in Black and disabled in love, it came from my own parents. Um, when they found love. Both of my parents are able-bodied people, and they had a daughter with a disability. So my reality of being Black and disabled and in love, it wasn't no reality because I didn't see anything, and people assume because I have a disability, I should be with someone that has a disability as well. Not necessarily always the case, but it's a lot of conversation and a lot of conversation that needs to go around having this conversation and this topic. So welcome and thank you for joining us tonight. So we did have four panels. Okay, can y'all hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We did have two other panelists, but unfortunately, one of our panelists was sick, and I told her, "Don't worry about it. Having a disability is up and down, as we all know." I said, "Your health is more important," and I'll reach out to her to make sure she's fine. But we do have two panelists tonight joining us tonight, Tanya and Todd, TNT, Todd and Tanya. That's so cute, TNT. Joining us tonight. They I met Todd and Tanya years ago, and I feel like your life is always going around in circles. So you always run into more the people that you met years ago, and you reconnect again. So I asked Todd and I asked his wonderful fiance, can y'all be a part of my panel discussion? They're like, sure, no problem. Give us the questions. Hopefully they're not crazy. I was like, no, they're not crazy. They're not crazy. So we're gonna get through some of them, but not all of them tonight. And if y'all have any questions for our panelists or for myself, feel free to ask me. I'm the content creator of What is Black and Disabled. I come up with different topics concerning Black and disabled, an intersection that people don't want to talk about in the Black community. We talk about our Blackness, but we really don't talk about our disability. So I hope y'all enjoy tonight's conversation.
When you guys gonna start talking about niggers going back to Africa? The Jews brought you over here. We want you back out. Fucking get out.
Preferably sooner rather than later, because the longer you're here, the more in debt you make the U.S.
And all the rapes and crimes. I mean, what, 6% of the U.S. population is the male nigger, and they commit 60%.
Fuck niggers.
That's
fuck
a lot
dudes.
of niggerdom.
Did I get everyone that was causing a dysfunction? Because is anyone else, you you want to leave, if this is not the space for racism right now, especially during Black History Month, because I will remove you so fast. So is there anyone else wants to say something? Feel free to say something before we even start the conversation, because I'll remove you and keep it moving. Okay, because we do have more people in the waiting room. Tish, I want to give you back control. So you may want to talk to them before they come in. So sorry about that, everyone. All right, cool. Sorry about that, everyone. Certain things you have no control over, and that's one of the things you don't have control over. Okay. With that being said, we're gonna continue our beautiful conversation in the spirit of Valentine's Day, in the spirit of Black History Month as well, because we love being Black and we love having our disabilities being being highlighted during this month. So, our first question for our esteemed panelists, Tanya and Ty, can you tell us your love story?
Todd, I'll let you take that.
So Tanya and I, we met actually when I was 17. And so she's a few years younger, but we were introduced by a mutual friend at that time. But you know, it's nothing, it wasn't very memorable to me because I was hanging out with my friends at the time. Now, Tanya says that she noticed me. And so fast forward years and years, we actually were both visiting a mutual friend and connected there, realized we had a lot in common, just sort of instant rapport, and been rocking and rolling ever since.
Okay, cool. So, yeah. So y'all been rocking and roll. Can you tell me how long y'all been rocking and rolling with each other ever since? Cause y'all said y'all been rocking and rolling ever since.
So actually, we'll say this. It's not. We'll say this, and then we'll lead into more in our story as we go on about disabilities. But we started dating in 2003.
Okay, cool. So y'all started. Oh, y'all been together for a while. Congratulations. Okay. So who made the first move? Was it Todd or Tanya? So who made the first move when it came to striking up their first conversation?
So I'll say it was me. Just in terms of, some of I mean, first of all, she looked great, so she came ready to impress. And so, that inspired me to want to talk to her a little bit more. So I wanted to, kind of find out about her personality and her likes and dislikes, in a very brief amount of time, because again, we both were visiting a mutual friend. But just really hit it off.
Oh, isn't that cute? Okay. So for you, Todd, when did you self-disclose about your disability to your significant other, to your fiance? When did that happen? Because I know in the disability field, in not field, in our community, it's a certain time when you self-disclose. My disability is physical. I kind of like self-disclose immediately, especially if I meet someone online. And I try to self-disclose because my disability is a part of me. It's not all of me, but I just feel like it's more honest and transparent. And I give that person the right to say yeah or nay. So some people can handle it, some people can't. But go ahead, Ty.
Gotcha. So just so everybody understands the full scope of our relationship and who we are. So I personally have a mental health condition that I've lived with for quite a while. And Tanya on her end has multiple sclerosis. So we each come to the table with what people would consider a disability. Now in my case, for us, my mental health condition didn't reveal itself to about 2 years into our relationship. So that's when I had a mental health crisis. Before Tanya, I was married, and I have 2 children, and then sometimes there's a tug of war between exes with kids, and kids can get caught in the crosshairs. And in my case, my kids were moved about 350 miles away, and with my ex. And so that really just shattered my world, and it led to a breakdown, if you will. And so Tanya was on the front lines with me, got to see, experience, and was supportive through that time. And just very grateful that I had somebody willing to learn as we went, because at the time, mental health wasn't as understood as it is now. So it was new to both of us, and neither of us really knew how to manage it. And for her to witness it was difficult, because I wasn't the same person that she fell in love with. So in that particular case, she had to kind of, start over in terms of getting to know me better and realize, hey, look, I love this man enough that I'm going to support him through this.
Okay, great. How about you, Tanya?
So, yes, like Todd said, that was very challenging, because I never experienced that before with anyone, and it was new for him, as well. And it wasn't the same Todd that I met, like you said, years ago. So it definitely was it was a process. It took time, but I mean, I'm still here, what, 20 years in, right, Todd? We're still rocking. And then my multiple sclerosis, you wouldn't know, like looking at me, nobody knows unless you know me. But that was 2013. And with my MS, so we had things with that, like we'll want to travel and then I have to cancel, or he has events for his fraternity, I have to cancel, I can't go certain places at that time when I was sick. So that put a strain on the relationship, and that was tough for him as well as for me, because you just don't know with that, and with the whole thing of MS, I'm fine one day, I'm not. So it changed a lot with us, romantically and just in general.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Eva, welcome. How are you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm gonna take some medicine when when we're done.
Okay.
I'm just waiting on my
Yeah, your
husband.
husband.
Yeah, he's traveling, so he's gonna jump on.
Okay. Tish, I just let Tish know. Tish is aware. Oh, okay. I think your significant other is coming right now. Your hubby is coming on right now. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Okay.
Sorry. Just want to make sure Marquise is coming on. Make sure
It's Marquis.
Mark. Thank you, Marquis.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Thank you, Marquis. He's connecting. So once, because I know he is. Marquis. Hi, how you doing? It's well, allow him to connect a little bit and okay. Kevin, whenever you get a chance, do you want to introduce you and Marquis to the panel discussion tonight?
Yes, so my name is Kebra Moore. My husband is Marquis Moore. We've been married for 24 years. He's a retired Marine, did 30 years in the Marine Corps, and I am an entrepreneur, currently currently teaches in Fort Worth ISD. I'm an author, and I have my own lipstick line. We have two boys, two young men. One is in the Army, and the other one is in graduate school, and 25 and 22. So that's the story of our life.
Okay. Well, how long have y'all been married?
Isn't being black and disabled a bit redundant since the average nigger only has about 65 IQ, which is legal age here?
What
Yeah.
is that?
Oh shit, that nigga been talking about niggas and shit. Oh god damn, what's going on around here? Help me, mama, mama! I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
What is this?
I think you've been hacked.
Yeah, I think I've been hacked too.
Yeah, y'all niggers are so dumb. You don't even know how to remove me. Look at you black fucking dumbass niggers. Bet you're all gay too. Why are you black? Can't you just be normal? Come on, find the button.
Okay, I think we got everyone out. I don't know. Did
If
I?
you want,
hold on a second. If you want, I can send out another invite or something. We can
Okay.
like
I
I don't
think
know
I
how we do that,
removed
but-
Marquise by mistake. I think I'm sorry. I think I removed your husband by mistake. Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone. I did not think this was gonna happen tonight. If you can tell your husband, Kevra, to come back on.
Okay, I'm texting him now.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm like super frustrated because I didn't think this was gonna happen tonight. So, um,
I mean, this happened to me before in one of my sorority things where people came on there, and so you just have to make sure that your security settings are
private.
to date. Yeah.
Yeah, I will definitely get that. Look into that. Once
She
this
said
is over.
it wouldn't let him rejoin.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's right here.
He's coming on?
Yeah, he's coming on.
Okay.
He's right. He's right there. I am so sorry, everyone. Oh my God, I feel so embarrassed.
It's
Ooh.
not your fault.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Your hubby is back on. Okay, so let's get back into everything. I'm sorry. Peppa, how long have you and your husband been together? I'm sorry, I totally didn't get that part.
You okay? You wanna take
No,
a
I'm good. I'm good.
okay. So we met in 1995, 96, I believe. I was a junior in college when we met. And so when we dated for a few years, and then we got married in 2000. So we met in South Carolina.
Aw, were you in undergrad when you met?
Yes.
Aw, y'all were college sweethearts.
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
Okay, great, great, great. Okay, so I want to always ask this question. So who introduced to each other family first? Was it the guy or the female? And how did your family react to meeting your husband, girlfriend, fiance, significant other?
I met him, I was a sophomore in college when I met him, but we started dating my junior year. But my aunt at the time was having a barbecue, and she was dating this other Marine, and Marquis had just moved to Beaufort, and he brought him to the barbecue, and that's how we met. I would think it was during the summertime. I was home during summer break, and that's how we met. So
Marquis
technically, nobody introduced nobody. He just
kind of like popped up.
yeah. He was just uninvited to a cookout. He just came to get some free food, and that's how we met.
Oh, okay. Mr.
Yeah.
Moore, do you have anything to say about your wife just popping up and you just everyone kind of like love you in the family? It's kind of like, oh, I like him. Yeah, he's good.
I don't know if he can, because I know he's driving, so I don't.
Okay, so he's probably driving. Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Ty? How about you and Tanya, T and T? How did you who met did you introduce her to your family or did she introduce you to her family? And how was that? How did everyone perceive y'all? Did everyone like you?
So
I'm trying to remember. It was so long ago. So I think just because being local, I think we just came by, he brought me to his mom's house. He had to come over his mom's real quick to get something. And I believe it was his mom that I met first. And then I guess was it one of my family's like events or something? Then that's when he met like my mom and some of my aunts and relatives like that. So it was like that.
You know, I think that, you know, regardless of who met who first, I think the parents liked us, you know, before each other, just because, you know, of some of the poor choices we had made in the past. So they were delighted that, you know, we had a good spirited person to deal with.
That's cool. That's cool. It makes it a little bit easier
Yeah.
when it comes to having that person that is liked by everyone in the family.
Mhm.
Do you know your next question? Do you know your partner's limitation, functional limitation? If so, what are your functional limitation when it comes to your disability? Because I know for me, for those who don't know, my boyfriend recently passed away in September of last year. Unexpectedly passed away. And so he was Muslim, I'm a Christian, and he did not understand my disability because he saw me being so independent. Oh, Zarifa, you do so much. I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, well, I don't look at you as a person with a disability. And I said, Ali, you have to look at me as a person with a disability. Please don't take away my identity because there are certain things that I cannot do, which you need to help me, assist me with. And I think later on in the relationship, he started to understand my functional limitation. He started to understand certain things I cannot do. And that's what made it a little bit easier for me to communicate. These are my functional limitations. I think the more time you spend around with someone having a disability, you can start to understand their functional limitations. But for you guys, what are your functional limitations? And if you have any, what are they? And how does your partner assist you in helping you with your functional limitations?
For me, I can say when I first had, and I tell my husband this all the time, and I tell him this all the time, like he takes care of me very well. He's a very awesome provider. When I first became paralyzed, he was in the car with me. We were engaged, and he have just always, always, always took very good care of me, even to the point when it was different changes to my body, dealing with the paralysis. Like he stepped in, and we weren't even married yet when we had the car accident. We were scheduled to get married. We were engaged, and we had the car accident on Christmas Eve of '99. We were supposed to get married. I think it was January 29th. We were supposed to get married, and we ended up getting married on January the 6th in the hospital. He was getting ready to get stationed in California. So after we got married, they kind of waited and moved his quarters back because I was in therapy. I was in the hospital for a while. I was in constant physical therapy. He was there every day. Our son at the time was 14 months. I mean, like he was there every day, even till now, 24 years being married later. Sometimes I get lazy, don't want to pull my pants up and stuff like that, and he'll do it for me. But for the most part, I'm like you. I'm very independent. I drive my own car. You supported my lipstick business. I do my orders. Um, he just pretty much guide me. One thing that I do love about him, he may just be finding this out right now, even though like when I do things as far as not business wise that he don't think is right, he may get on me, but I know that he do it in love because he wants to see me he wants to see me succeed. So I try to do the same for him. I try to support him and everything that he's trying to do. So I can just say that about him, that he's always been a good provider, always treated me good, always respected me, even when I know I get on his nerves. And he's always helped me with a lot of stuff. And he gets on my nerves sometimes too, but that's with any relationship. Everything's not gonna be perfect, you know. And I know that certain things that I do irritates him. So some moves that I make irritate him. And again, I love him for always keeping it 100 with me because I know at the end of the day, he don't want to see me fail.
Thank you for sharing. How about Todd and Tanya?
You want to go first?
Tanya has definitely been very supportive of me with my mental health condition. As said, you know, it wasn't something that revealed itself when we first started dating, when she fell in love with me. So for it to unveil or reveal itself later was a real challenge for us both, because it was new. She had never dealt with anybody with a mental health condition. I had never seen it done, nor had I experienced it. So over the course of our relationship, she's been extremely supportive in terms of mind load management, reminding me not to overdo it as far as putting too much, you know, taking too many activities on, coming up with taking action with too many ideas. But, you know, when she notices those type of things, she said, you know, slow down, just manage what's on your plate. You know, also she's very dedicated to reminding me to take my medication. You know, sometimes we'll be traveling and it's easy to forget, or you know, might get in late and kind of overlook it. She'll always remind me of that. So she's definitely been supportive throughout my situation.
So yes, that, like Todd said, I was, and in return with my multiple sclerosis, Todd has been there for me. Now I currently haven't had any episodes for the past like 2.5 years, but there's been times when I had to go into the hospital and I had like a relapse, because when I first started, mine was the RRMS, the relapsing remitting MS. And there were times when it progressed, and then he'd have to be dressed up, going to parties and events and weddings and different things without me because I just couldn't. And it was always the right side that was like paralyzed, and I couldn't, you know, like move. And I was on like 7 different DMTs and would have to do a flush. And he was always, you know, there for me, and just being, you know, a supporter, a great support system, because, you know, I had worked for a financial institution for years and had to leave that good job after 10 years. And, you know, so it was very hard. And he supported me, not just emotionally, but financially as well, too, because those medicines are very, very expensive. And I had to deplete like a whole lot of 401k and everything. So he's always there for me and reminding me, like, just because, you know, I'm feeling good, stay on your doctor's appointment, stay up with that, you know, eat better, you know, because I love a lot of pasta and ice cream and stuff like that, and exercise, and take it easy, you know, and he'll remind me. And then I had my thyroid removed, you know, years ago. So he'll remind me, don't forget to take your Synthroid. So we kind of remind each other about, you know, medicine. And then he'll just tell me, just relax, because I'll just break out in sweats, you know, sometimes, or get a little dizzy and lightheaded. More or less, you know, the heat does that and flares up my MS like that. But he's always been supportive, and I drive and everything like that. So that hasn't ever been like an issue. I don't use, you know, anything like that. But when I feel, you know, lightheaded, and I know when to, you know, just kind of just relax. And then he'll, you know, if I break out sweats, he'll go get the cloth for me and wet it, and just, you know, bring me something to drink and ginger ale, some crackers. So he's totally there for me. We're just there for each other. And I like to just have somebody like that, because you don't know many people out here that are going to want to deal with some things, because you just, you know, don't know moving forward. And that's a lot of responsibility and a lot to ask for.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. It is a lot to ask for. Especially I think people see being in a relationship. I think sometimes people see your disability as a burden, not as a bonus, not something that can be insightful for everyone. So I always tell people, I don't need your help. If I need your help, I will let you know if I need your help. Not a burden. I can do this on my own. But there's some functional limitations that you can assist me with. And I'll let you know when I need your help. I'm very vocal. So this is another great question I would like to ask you guys. What do you like best about your significant other? Tanya's already laughing. She's already laughing.
What I like about, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay, what I like about Todd is he, you know, he used to do stand-up. He's still funny now, but more or less serious. But back when we first met, oh, he was just so silly. We would just like have fun and dance around, and he'd be like a little DJ and I'd be dancing. We just had like a lot of fun, and New York was one of our favorite cities, and we would just like, just be hanging out and just like having a good time. He just makes me laugh. So he's really fun. And, and then I know I do a lot of stuff to get on his nerves and, he'll tell you about that.
So what I like best about Tanya, and it relates to this conversation, is that she's a great listener and very motivating, for me, because when I did have that crisis, it really kind of destroyed the life I had built up to that point. So it took time, and in some ways still taking time, to recover my life, and I've had to pivot into a whole different career and just mindset and so on and so forth. And so she hears from me a lot in terms of, times where she needs to inspire me to continue on, and that I can make it, and that I will succeed. So she's been great with that.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready, Kara.
Okay, I thought my husband, he was trying to, he said he was gonna try to speak. Hopefully he can speak after me.
Okay.
What I love about my husband is his honesty, and he plays a lot, even like today, like when he was going out of town, he gave me a kiss, but then he licked his tongue on my face, and he know I hate that, so he do it just to be funny, just because he know I hate it, he do it just to be funny. And so I love his, he liked the joke. And I like sometimes how we share funny messages on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And then we share positive messages. Every once in a while, he'll send like Bible scripture to me and the boys. Or I like sometimes, like, we have a man cave, so he'll be in his game room in the back, and I'll be in the room, and he'll just text me, "What you doing?" So I like little things like that. So yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
I
evening.
apologize. I am driving, but I'm going to try to interact as much as possible. I think the last question was, what do I like about my spouse? I would tell you, everyone has their yin and their yang. Uh, uh, and so I'm a very high-strung energy, straightforward person. And a lot of times she tells me, you don't have to be serious all the time. You don't have to be so direct all the time. So it's kind of like the balance, because she'll beat around the bush, and I'm more to, let's just get to where we got to do, go where we got to go, because I got other things I want to do. So it's about having that yin and yang, and I think the perfect balance is when you compromise upon things that are not necessarily good topics, or easy topics to speak upon. So when you can have a good communication line, and you have the ability to speak with someone openly without the emotional factor all the time, I think that's probably one of the better things that we have going for us.
Okay. Thank you so much for speaking, Mr. Moore. I don't know how to pronounce your name correctly. I'm really big on pronouncing people's name correctly, because my name is very unique. So I don't like when people mess up my name. So I'm just gonna call you Mr. Moore. And thank you for your service. And I work for the VA right now. So thank you for your service. And this question is for Keba and Mr. Moore. And the next question is for Todd and Tanya. How do you feel about the term interable couple marriage? Because y'all are in an interable couple, a relationship. And when I was with Ali, I told him that we're in an interfaith, interable relationship. And he said, "What's that?" I said, "You're Muslim, I'm Christian. I have a disability and you're non-disabled." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And he really didn't understand it. I'm like, okay, so in our community, we say interable when someone without a disability is dating or married to someone with a disability. So how do y'all feel about that terminology? Have you ever heard of that terminology before?
I have never heard of the terminology until just now.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
I've always heard of able body, disabled body. Those are the terminology that I've heard. I think because we dated before the car accident when I was walking and we still together with me being in a wheelchair. I don't think we just live life as if I was a able-bodied person. So I don't think we don't, I mean, I would be lying if I said when I first got married and had my car accident, you know, of course you have your insecurities and things like that. And not necessarily meaning like for me, when I first got disabled, I didn't want to look in the mirror. And so I was like, I don't want to see myself in the wheelchair. So it's like, well, I'm gonna be like that when I got my husband, you know, he got my legs for me, you know. So I'm good. I'm like these different terminologies and putting stigmas and this and that and all this other stuff. I don't care about nothing like that. That's my man and that's just it.
Okay, well, Deborah has spoken, and that's her man, and that's it.
Right. Pretty much.
And that's a read. Okay.
Well, honestly, I think that's kind of like an interplay, a word play on kind of interracial relationships almost. I would tell you that I really don't perceive her as being disabled because she does probably more than the average able body as far as business, travel, leisure. So I really don't look at it in a term of disability outside of, okay, she can't walk, but that hasn't stopped her from getting to any destination. So I really don't look at that as a true disability in that aspect. As far as the title of a relationship, I just consider it a marriage. If I looked at it any differently, to include if it was an interracial relationship or a same-sex marriage, for the most part, it's just a marriage. That's the person you decided you wanted to be with, you wanted to love, and you know, for sickness better, sickness and health better or worse. That's just part of it. The title of it doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't necessarily change. It's just that's just who I'm married to.
Thank y'all. Thank you very much. Todd and Tanya?
So, you know, as far as I speak for myself as far as the mental health condition, you know, that's nothing, you know, physical, right? Where people will see it and so forth. As far as internally with our relationship, you know, it's just, again, just the support that she offers me. And, you know, we are aware of what's going on, but fortunately enough, the outside world doesn't know, you know, unless I had a crisis or something like that. So, you know, that's the way we've been able to manage that.
And this is my first time hearing of that term as well. And, you know, you wouldn't know, like same with me, I don't have the, you know, the disability that people would know unless you would know. So it doesn't kind of affect us, you know, like that with limitations.
Okay, right. I feel like the disability community is always changing what our terminology. So it's like 1 minute is one thing and next minute, oh, you don't say it no more, it's this. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, okay, let me just go with the flow. So it's not just terminology anymore. But go ahead, Kaba.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say that you just
Yeah.
spoke on. Is like it's always these new terminology. So now I'm hearing this thing where they're saying, oh, handicap, the word handicap is
Actually, you don't use it anymore.
yeah, they said the word handicap is it's like derogatory. And so and I try not to use the word handicap. I always say disabled or disability. I don't say handicap or whatever. So even like when I'm going to the store, I'd be like, I'm gonna park in the, you know, we used to be like handicap parking, but I'm parking in the disabled parking spot or whatever. Because I can see handicap, but handicap doesn't necessarily mean you can't walk or mobility aspect to it. It can be all type of you can't just generalize it down to one thing. But you know, somebody had told me like, oh, we don't say handicap no more. And I'm like, okay, so you know, and then it's kind of like I've been paralyzed since 99, since December 99, going on 24 years. Stuff like that don't bother me.
Yeah.
You know.
If someone asked me, where do you park it? I say, here they have parking. I know where to park because I don't want to get told. I'm from Philly, y'all. We get told here. So Tanya is laughing at me. If the Philadelphians know about parking here in Philadelphia. So they will tow you in any kind of parking space. But that's a whole different conversation. This is our last question for the evening. Then we're going to open up for anyone that has questions for our lovely panelists. What advice would you give other couples who are Black and disabled and in love?
I would say not to let others get into your business. Not let others assume, well, people can assume what they want to assume. So I'm not gonna say that. I would just say, I would tell somebody people are going to assume things about you as a couple. A lot of times people, and I hate to say this, and I was having a conversation today about this, about when we was talking about the Super Bowl and how in our community, how we just putting people down. I would say that people want to see you fail. And not everybody, but I would just let people know that you gotta keep what God blessed your union to be, and you know what goes on in your household, and just let it ride, you know. And like I said, I had to learn early in my marriage that people gonna say what they want to say, but at the end of the day, it's about what my husband say, and it's about what I say and how we gonna maintain our relationship. And I learned that early on, being 26, 27 years old with a 14-month-old baby and newly married and newly injured. So it was a lot I had to impact, and I just didn't need that negativity coming into my space, you know. And I learned that, like I said, I learned that early on in my marriage. So that's the advice what I would give people.
Anyone else?
Yeah, the advice that I would give, number one, to remember why you fell in love, you know, with that person. You know, that person's character, that the way that person makes you feel. You know, remember those things when things have changed from a health perspective, right? And then the other thing is definitely incorporate prayer. You know, we, you know, continually, you know, pray for, we offer gratitude to God that, you know, both of us are stable at this point. You know, and it's something that we don't forget, you know. And if for some reason it's been a little while since we prayed, you know, I'll be like, hey, you know, we haven't prayed in a while. And so then, you know, we actually, you know, bow our heads to God and thank him for us being able to be stable for this period and ask that it continue. So that's what I would recommend to anyone who is facing what those of us have faced.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate our panelists. Thank you so much. We're going to open it up to anyone that has a question, to our panelists, to myself. I didn't mention I have a disability myself. It's called orthogryposis, multiplex congenital. Imagine saying that 3 times if you were drunk. But it's a long word. I was born with my disability. It affects my whole entire body, but I just keep it moving. It's a part of my identity. Sometimes I act like doesn't exist. I make it look easy the way I get around and keep it moving. And just a side note, Philadelphia is having snow tomorrow, and I don't have to go into the office. Yes. But do we have any questions for our panel? Questions, comments, suggestions?
Well, I'll just say this was very nice. That what you're doing. So that's what I want to say. This was nice because it kind of opened up for people to see that just because you're disabled don't mean that our life is going to end. As far as like we just sit up in the house and don't do stuff, because we be out there, we be doing the most.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I
I do a lot because I keep Todd going. I'm that international travel
Hello,
person.
everyone.
He knows, so he's
Hello, can
got
you
to
hear me?
bring me back in. But I keep him going, and we just rock with it. We just have a good time. Life is short, so you just gotta live life and just keep moving. And don't let, like you said, the outside noise get in, family, friends, because they're the worst. Even family can be the worst trying to get in your business. Don't let them in your relationship. We've had issues throughout our going on 20 years where we've had that happen, and it has
Hello,
we've had
everyone.
we've taken a break before a couple of times, but we bounce right back because we're like, no, we can't let people interfere with what we have and the love that we share for one another. So just got to keep it moving.
thank you so much for sharing. Debbie, you had a question?
No, I just want to say I'm really glad for being a part of this. And I just want to say to you, the two panelists that have shared, it shared a lot, and it also can fuel into people who don't have a disability the way you have managed and shared your relationship with each other. And I just want to thank you for that. And I also want to say that I would like to see more of this type of panel interaction, and maybe we could at some point expand and maybe have a workshop where we talk about other issues that involve couples, because having a disability is a challenge. I don't know if you know, but there are other disabilities other than the physical ones, but then there's, for example, sickle cell disease, where individuals live with a blood disorder and they may be in and out of crises, in and out. As you get older, it affects your major organs, and you develop maybe another disability on top of having sickle cell disease, and it's a challenge. And I know of several couples that have really managed, and to have more interaction of this type, I think would be beneficial. Thank you again, Sarifa, for this.
You're welcome, Debbie.
And everyone else on the panel.
And just a side note, Deborah and Debbie, y'all are surfboards. So thank you so much, Debbie, for coming tonight. And thank you for everyone for coming tonight. We do have
I think Marcus wanted to say something.
I'm sorry. Go
Marcus,
ahead,
something I
Mr.
saw your
Moore.
mic kept going on and off.
I'm sorry, Mr. Moore. Go ahead.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can hear you.
There's a lot of negativity that would often be spewed towards your relationship. So I'm kind of backtracking, then I'm gonna sum it up really quick. The advice I would offer is just keep people out of your relationship. That is the biggest thing I found, that people can't mess up what they don't know about. So I'm not huge into social media and putting everything we do out in the public. I'm very, very private, very low key, and therefore that keeps a lot of people out of my relationship. So you kind of find people are going to have their opinions, thoughts, and if that's fine, you can have them. And I kind of tell her all the time that people don't know what we have, and I want to keep it that way. And so therefore, there is hope for others out there that's in type of relationships that that perceive that. I've heard a person once say, "Well, I'm fully able, and I have this, that, and the third, and I can't find a man, but here this person is disabled, and they have someone." And my response to that individual was, "It's probably your personality." And they kind of looked at me, and I said, "Well, it's not because of the things that you do have so many times that a person wants to be with you. It's probably something that you do have that makes them want to be with you, that they lack in their life. And it doesn't really matter if they're incapable of doing something. They may be able to do the thing that you need to fulfill your life and vice versa. So I say that to keep people out of your life, keep out of your business. And as far as the panel as a whole, it is a lovely thing to come together and have people talk about these things that kind of plague our communities. Because believe it or not, it takes a lot of confidence to come out and openly admit that you have any type of disability or shortcoming, so to speak. And I often say those things that you're weak in, you're probably 10 times stronger in another area that other people aren't. So stay positive, stay motivated, keep God first, and thank you for having me tonight.
No, thank you for coming on tonight and your travels. Please make sure you get to your destination safely. And if anyone can get a chance to fill out our survey, we would love to hear your feedback from this panel discussions, upcoming panel discussion. We do have another one coming up in 2 weeks. What is Black and disabled and raising kids and parenting? So we are going to continue with the conversation in 2 weeks on Wednesday, on the 21st, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully y'all able to come to that panel discussion, but thank y'all so much for supporting us in our community. We love it. I appreciate it, and have a wonderful night, everyone.
Thank you, and hi, Sarah.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.